Many times you hear reports in the news about so-called violent settlers living in the West Bank. They are called radical and extremists, and according to the media, they do not shy away from violence against Palestinians. But is that a correct image? For that reason, we think it's important to let them have their say. Who is it about and what is really going on in the area of Judea and Samaria? At my table is Yossi Dagan, head of the Samaria Regional Council. Mr. Dagan, welcome in our studio.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and I want to wish you a happy birthday because I understood you had your birthday yesterday.
Thank you very much.
You are the head of the Regional Council of Samaria, or Shomron, as you call it in Israel. So it's like a mayor. Can you describe what is your role?
Of course, Shomron, Samaria, is the biggest municipality in Israel. 12% from the state of Israel is our region. We have most 40 communities and towns. We have most 40 schools and high schools. Most 200 kindergartens. We have industrial zones. But
so it's a big area.
Yes, but first of all, before all of us, we never forget that Samaria, Shomron, is a Bible land. Shomron is the heartland of Israel. All the Jewish starter happened in Shomron. Since the days of Abraham, Yaakov, Yoshua bin Nun, Eliyahu's prophecy, Elisha's prophecy, Yosef. Most of the stories of the Bible happened in Shomron.
Yeah, and you are the mayor, so to say, of this region. So what is your task there?
My mission is to build the Bible land. We have a lot of missions, education, we call to tourism, economical missions. But before all of this, I never forget that my mission, my historical mission, is to build the Bible land from this spirit of a nation of Israel, from the Bible days, build together the future of state of Israel.
Yeah. So after October 7th happened, the attack of Hamas in the south of Israel, how did your work as a mayor change?
The change, big change, that now the clear situation. Also before October 7, we stand against a lot of terror attacks, sometimes 2 or 3 attacks a day. We are stronger because we believe, we understand what our historical mission, but it's not easy. But after October 7, since October 7, it's clear situation. It's clear why. One, because we understand what happened by Oslo Agreement, by the conception of a peace process, the Jewish people, Jewish nation give free his homeland to our enemies, and will be peace. We understood. And 2, because Hamas and also Palestinian Authority leaders, not under the table, they published that they want to budget and rape and kill all the Jewish in Judea and Samaria, and from Judea and Samaria to kill the Jewish citizens in the state of Israel. We have 20% of non-Jewish citizens in Israel, as I talk about apartheid, yes? Now the situation is clear. And since October 7, first of all, we have most 20 people that dead, or in the army in Gaza, or by terror attacks on the ground after October 7.
So the situation is very serious.
Yes, it's very serious. But my mission, first of all, to build, 2, to protect. And we are working at the days, at the night, since October 7, to protect our citizens. We have security squad with most from 1,000 people that volunteer. They start to be reserve soldiers, and now they are volunteers with weapons by the Israeli laws, by the army laws, and we are helping to the army to protect and bring safety and risk the lives of Israeli citizens in Judea and Samaria.
Yeah, we're going to talk about safety later, but first I want to talk with you about the International Court of Justice. Last Friday, they had a ruling that the occupation of the West Bank is illegal. So this is talking about the region where you are the chief. So what is your opinion, in very short, in one sentence, about the ruling of the International Court of Justice?
First of all, I must tell you that it's like a joke, because you hear about the High Court of Justice. You imagine maybe Eliyahu prophecy or the King David sit together and think about justice. I take a look on the television and I saw the chairman, the president of the High Court, he is a former ambassador of Lebanon in United Nations. I think also in Netherlands, also in Israel, all children know that the real control in Lebanon is of Hezbollah. So the former ambassador of Lebanon, the real former ambassador of Hezbollah, because the control of Lebanon in the hands of Hezbollah, he write a paper that the Jewish communities, the Jewish building in Jerusalem, our historical capital, in Judea and Samaria, also in Gaza Strip, 19 years after we evacuated our communities, Jewish communities from Gush Katif, from Gaza Strip, 19 years after this is also after occupation. We take out the bodies from the tombs. We destroyed all the Jewish communities. We did apartheid and transfer for the Jewish citizens from this. This is Judenrein. Gaza Strip is Judenrein. He told this judge, this judge is the president of the High Court, the missioner from Lebanon. He write that it's illegal. It's unbelievable. It's like a joke.
Did you expect this ruling to be like this? That because he described, as you say, that the occupation of Gaza and the West Bank, East Jerusalem, is illegal. Did you expect them to have this ruling?
I must tell you a story. A few months ago, a group of parliament members from Europe hosted me to their conference in Europe. And I explained them about the security situation now on the ground in Samaria, in Tel Aviv, in the kibbutzim near Gaza Strip. And they told me, yes, we understand now your security situation in Israel. We understand that you need to control on these mountains of Shomron to protect your security. Yes. But what about the occupation? So I asked them, please, gentlemen, what is Judea and Samaria? What is Judea? They told me Judea is Jewish. So I asked them, tell me please, gentlemen, how Jewish can to be occupier in Judea? It's ridiculous. Shomron, Samaria, and Yehuda, Judea, and Jerusalem. This is the base of the history of Jewish, of Christians and Muslims. You cannot find no another nation with hard contact between the people, the nation, to the ground, to the land, like the Israeli nation and the land of Israel. And I want to ask these Mukions from the High Court of Hague, who are you that you think cancelled the prophecy of Jeremiah? We are doing the historical justice. It's not just security, also is security, and after October 7 is clear. But the Jewish communities and towns in Judea, in Samaria, in Jerusalem, in the Negev, in the Galilee, is a historical justice. And we do what God told us to do 2,000 years ago. And nobody can canceling this.
Let's go to our next subject, because in the Dutch media, for example, the Dutch newspaper Trouw, the former editor-in-chief called the colonists very extreme. And another news website talks about radical nationalists. So very extreme names for the people who are actually living there in Judea and Samaria.
About my citizens.
Yeah. What kind of people live there? You are the mayor, so you can share with me.
I think that's all the stories, all the issues about the so-called settler violence, it's campaign. It's cynical campaign. Because, you know, in the old city, also in Amsterdam, also in Hague, you have criminals, some criminals, maybe most from 1% in Judea and Samaria. It's so small issues. And of course, we are against this. We have police, we have security service, we have army, and also me and my colleagues, the mayors, the leaders, the rabbis, the teachers, so work against this.
You say it's a small percentage.
Of course, but this is campaign. I'll tell you why. Because also after October 7, it's so clear. We have two sides. It's clear. One side, his choice, dead. One size, his choice, live. You can see which people, which community, his mind, high-tech, his mind, life, his mind, the future, and you can see which community, his mind, dead, his mind, terrorist, his mind, the past. It's clear. One side, their heroes, the people from the Nukhba, that October 7, butchered and raped and killed Jewish.
So
and one side, his heroes, these people that rescue life, also from my citizens.
But still, we read a lot in the news. I wouldn't say every day, but we hear about or we read about settler violence, that Palestinians have been attacked by Jewish settlers. So what is it? Is it true or is it not true?
I believe, I know, that after a lot of years, that armies of the states of Arabs destroyed the state of Israel and people of Israel. They never didn't quiet about this. Not just destroyed the state of Israel, destroyed all the Jewish to do second Holocaust. They told this till these days. They tried to open the new war. War of lies, war of delegitimations, war against the truth. And the truth that our citizens are good people. Of course, we have problematic people. Like in Amsterdam, you have problematic people, but we have strong police. We do well about this.
Yeah.
But the campaign, the cynical campaign, is a part from the new war of the Palestinian Authority. And if we take a look about Mahmoud Abbas, the leader of the Palestinian Authority, our partners for peace, do you know how much times he talked against the Nazis' rapes and the Nazis' murders at October 7? Do you know how much time?
You tell me.
0. And part from their ministers published on television that this was good, and they want to do this also in Judea and Samaria.
They want to repeat
not just Hamas, the ministers from Mahmoud Abbas' party.
In early June of this year, a Palestinian police officer was arrested because he had a plan to assassinate you. So this news became known. What did it do to you?
You can see on the ground the real violent settlers. You know, it's not just the so-called Palestinian policemen, Palestinian terrorists. 1 year ago, the Palestinian Authority, Fatah, the party of Mahmoud Abbas, our partner for peace, published poster with formal logo of Fatah and called to their people, murder me, personality.
They wanted to kill you.
Yes, why? Because I'm mayor of Shomron. Imagine party in Netherlands that published a poster with a formal logo and called to the citizens in Netherlands, kill the mayor of Amsterdam. It's unbelievable.
Were you afraid when you heard about this news?
I'm afraid just from God and my wife. I'm not afraid from them.
But still, it's serious.
I can promise you, and I promise me, all the morning, that I never forget my historical mission. And I walk with the prophecy of Jeremiah and prophecy of Amos. I walk all the day with what God told us 2,000 years ago, to build again the land of Israel. And I'm not afraid because I trust God. Of course, I trust on our security services and also on myself,
first.
But God first.
Yeah,
and I know my mission, and if people focused his mission, he never afraid.
But this is like, I understand your reasoning, but still you have a family, you drive around, and sometimes I can imagine you will worry, okay, am I safe here? You're also going, if there is a terror attack happening against Jews, you are going there as the mayor of Shomron. So is there never a moment that you think, why did I actually come here? Because it's such a violent area.
I think it's not just a problem or worry about me. I'm not the story. The story, all the pioneers, Jewish, that living near the so-called borders and protect on the security of the million Jewish, all the state of Israel, and build again the Bible land. And these pioneers attacked all the days from the terrorists from Hamas and Palestinian Authority, and attacked by the media, international media, that they are the violence. This is a problem, not my problem. This is a problem of all the world, and I want to tell you why. On October 7, then the barbarian and Nazis from the Nukhba came into the kibbutzim near Gaza Strip.
The Hamas terrorists.
The Hamas terrorists. Yeah. And they called to the friends in Gaza and told them proudly, Anna Katalat Mustawtanin, we killed settlers. And you know, in Israel, kibbutzim, it's not settlers, it's the opposite. Kibbutz in Israel, it's socialist community. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
But for the barbarians and Nazis from Hamas, and also
they
from
see
Fatah,
everybody in Israel as a
it's
settler.
not matter if you religious, non-religious, conservative, left people. For them, all of us, we are Jewish.
Yeah.
And for them, all of you from Europe, you are settlers also, because they published also that Israel is a small Satan. The big Satan is Europe and Americans. We are the small problem of them, and they published it. If they will success destroy Israel, they will come in and destroy you. We are protecting not just Tel Aviv, we are protecting Europe.
Do you believe peace is possible between Arabs and Jews?
Just if we wake up from the bad dreams of Oslo Agreement.
Oslo Agreement, just to give a little explanation, is about the peace agreement made in the 90s between the Palestinians and the Jews. We talked about it earlier in this interview, and you say, you know, it's dead because there is no negotiations anymore between.
People think that Yasser Arafat and Mahmoud Abbas and Yahya Sinwar and all the psychopaths, their friends, they are just killers. No, they are also very smart. And at 1974, after Yom Kippur War, they also understood that they cannot destroy Israel with tanks, with rockets, with aircrafts. Arafat organized big conference, and he told end of this conference that the Palestinian organized PLO, Fatah, and also after them, of course, Hamas, by them after them, they start work after this, but also all the Palestinian terror organizers start with the level plans. The level plans mean that we don't talk anymore that we won't take all the land of Israel. We want just a 67 border. And after we success to take the control on the mountains of Judea and Samaria, we can push the Jewish from Tel Aviv, from the Green Line to the sea, because between the Mediterranean and Jordan Valley, we have 70 kilometers. The Shomron Mountains are 55 kilometers from them. So all the Green Line is just 15 kilometers under the big mountains of Shomron. So and Arafat understood this, Mahmoud Abbas understood this, and just the ignorance from the European parliaments not understand this because they are ignorant. And they are doing this since 1974. So then they understand that they cannot take the control on Judea and Samaria. And because this, they cannot destroy the Green Line, all the state of Israel, they will start talk about another things. Because if the people of them and the leaders of them think that they can destroy the state of Israel, why they want to take another solution? And I want to tell you that now, because our population grows 8% a year, and we are building, and we are alive, and we are happy, a lot of from the people in the Palestinian Authority understand. And a lot of leaders, local leaders and local sheikhs, they are coming to my office and work with me to create another way for peace, another way without the terrorist issues from the Palestinian Authority, another solutions.
Another way to peace. So you believe in peace between Jews
and Arabs? Of course, and I do peace. I want to tell you, since Oslo Agreement, 31 years ago, a lot of people also in Europe, unfortunately, talk about peace. organize big and wonderful conference for peace, take a very good salary once a month for doing peace, while we have not peace. And in all the Middle East, just in our industrial zones in Judea and Samaria, we are doing peace.
How do you mean? How do you do that?
If you come visit in Shomron, of course I invite you, you can see, for example, my office stay into Barkan Industrial Zone. In Barkan Industrial Zone, we have most 200 factories with most 9,000 workers. Half from them are Jewish Israeli citizens, half from them are Muslims from Palestinian Authority, and they are working together near same machine. They take same salary once a month. I am celebrate in my office once a year Iftar, the evening dinner of Ramadan, with local leaders and local sheikhs from Palestinian Authority. 2 years ago, the Palestinian police arrest one from these sheikhs because he sit and eat with me and we blessing for peace to Jewish and Arabs. They arrest him. They arrest him because this. And the night knocks the door at the night because our mission is to build. Our mission is create peaceful coexistence. Their mission of Palestinian Authority it's not just cancel the peace. Their mission is kill Jewish, not to do peace. This is clear.
Yeah, you say that working together, living together is the way to achieve peace. Now, products from Judea and Samaria are being boycotted by the BDS movement. What do you think about that? Because the BDS says that they want to advocate for the Palestinians, but you say that a boycott is at the same time. This boycott also affects the Palestinians who are working at the Barkan industrial area.
The boycott campaign, the brother of the settler violence campaign, it's same. The war of the lies, because then I told you before, if after 31 years after Oslo Agreement, just our industrial zones, our factories in our industrial zones do peaceful coexistence, just us, why this so-called peace activists, so-called BDS movement, want destroyed, boycott is destroyed, just these factories. Why? I want to tell you a story. 2 years ago, I host a group of members from the parliament from one country in Europe. And I bring them to factory in Barkan Industrial Zone. And I had a phone call. So I came out a few minutes. And after I ending the phone call, I came back. And they came for me, hug me, shake my hand, tell me, wow, this is our dream, this is our agenda, peaceful coexistence of the ground, Jewish and Arabs work together, take the same salary, we are very proudly. And I take a look at it. By the way, this factory, you want boycott by BDS campaign, labeling. They told me, no, unbelievable. I think most of the representatives, most of the reporters, they're ignorance. Our biggest enemy is the ignorance. And of course, the activities of BDS, most of them are anti-Semitic. They are not ignorant. They hate Jewish. They hate Jewish. They are not love peace because they know what happened on the ground. They hate Jewish. But most of the people are ignorant about the settlers' violence campaign, about the boycott campaign, because it's so ridiculous. How they want boycott the peaceful coexistence factories because they want to create peaceful coexistence. This is a war against the lies.
I want to go towards the end of the interview about the future. How do you see the future of Judea and Samaria? Because we have talked about the International Court of Justice, the ruling that you are not so happy with. We have talked about peaceful coexistence, also about the leadership of the Palestinians. But how do you see the future?
The future of Judea and Samaria, right in 2,000 years ago, all the unbelievable story of the Jewish nation that came back after 2,000 years from all the world and build again his homeland. And of course, Judea and Samaria, the Bible land, it's unbelievable. And I believe, and I know, that if the starter happened exactly like Jeremiah prophesied, like Amos prophesied. The end of the story is also. And the question is not what's the end of the story. The question for me, for you, for all the people in the world, that what you do at these historical days. Which side of the history you vote? I believe that one day God asked all of us, which side of history you voted? I know that you also, we are take the right side of the history. And I know from all the history that in the end of the story, the justice and the good people are winning.
Yossi Dagan, thank you very much for coming to our studio.
Thank you very much.
To keep up to date about the news in Israel and about our educational activities, go to our website, c4israel.org. Thank you very much for watching and goodbye.